Okay, so a couple things to actually talk about today. So the first thing is obviously PlayStation's DRM. I did a video a couple of days ago related to PlayStation's DRM. I still stand by that video, by the way. Even the things I state throughout the video, I still stand by everything I said in that video. That's the first part. The second part I want to talk about is de novo. Obviously, you've already seen the fucking god 2.5 hours of sleep is insane. The thumbnail, you've already seen the thumbnail. You guys already get it about the whole de novo situation. Obviously, we're going to touch base on PlayStation's DRM first. So, within the last couple of days, even with after my video, PlayStation, the whole situation, fiasco, basically what's going on with that, is a lot of people are up in arms about PlayStation's 30-day DRM. So it says right here, Sony's latest PlayStation update sparks DRM fears. What we know, if you have any digital games, it is advisable to keep your PlayStation connected to the internet. So this is exactly what people are all up in arms about. However, there is a silver lining. Now, I will state that PlayStation, for whatever fuck reason, decided to not fucking come out and actually try to explain this. It took a couple of users, such as shout out to Modern Warfare for actually coming out with at least some slight information. Even Modern Warfare was actually confused as well, and also a few other users. We're going to go ahead and mosey onto Twitter, and then I will put my input after reading a little bit of information. There is a silver lining. There is a silver lining. So, moseying on to Twitter. Shout out to Nib. So, reset error user is true, and now also confirmed by Does It Play. Shout out Does It Play. Shout out. We're going to be talking more about Does It Play down in the description, or link down in the description to, again, working with 3.5 hours of sleep. I had to get up at God knows when in the morning to take care of something. Anyway, continuing. Appear to have figured out what's going on with PlayStation's DRM. The good news is, it's only temporary DRM. It is not permanent. Here's how it works. When you buy a digital game, you are issued a 30-day license for offline play. This license automatically transitions to a permanent license that will be free from future online check-ins. Anytime you connect after the 15th day of ownership, just after the 14-day refund window, but you have to log in or be connected to the internet, or both, obviously, in order to switch. You will not lose the license, and I did cover this in my last video, that you're not going to lose the license. It's just going to lock your ass the fuck out of the game you paid for if you do not connect within 30 days of the temporary license window. But you will not. Basically, long story short with this, if you do not connect to the internet within 30 days, you'll be locked out until you connect. But this is 30 days of the product that you bought. If I'm getting this correctly, again, one more time, I'm running on fucking limited sleep here because of bullshit that's going on. The fire alarm went off, decidedly, but that's just not important right now. I'm going to reread this again. You will not lose the license to the game if you do not connect within or after 30 days of the temporary license window. So I did state that in my last video. You're not going to lose access to the game. You're just going to be locked the fuck out. But you will be unable to play the game after 30 days until you do, after which it will turn into an indefinite DRM-free license. It is not DRM-free. I will get into more of that in a bit. Previously, you'd be given a indefinite offline play license from the get-go. So why did PlayStation implement this? It is possible people found an exploit where they could grab the indefinite license file for the game using an exploitable console, which is a hacked system, and then refund the purchase so that they can get the game for free. Hence, Sony's current method of mitigating the said issue by the time limiting an initial license is issued. By issuing a temporary license during the refund window, users can no longer pirate a permanent license or simply refund the game. As long as you log in any time the day after the 14-day window of any digital game purchase, it will turn into a permanent DRM-free license. At least this is what the two users have investigated and concluded. So it's kind of still going on, but I think I kind of get what's going on. So you buy a game after said 14 days to 30 days, if I'm not getting this wrong. Also, link down in the description to Mystic. He probably will explain it to you more than I do. I'm just here to give you my input on how I feel about the situation. Then it turns into an offline game. It is not a DRM free. It is not DRM free. It is still tied to PlayStation servers, obviously. And in fact, by this point, it's just as bad as Xbox when it comes to its DRM. By this point, now here's the situation with this. So obviously, piracy obviously is deemed illegal. Obviously, piracy is a thing that's going on right now. And so a lot of the times, yes, I did state like piracy is justified in a lot of departments. And a lot of other departments, when it comes to this kind of stuff, it is not justified. I am fully against pirating games on a hack system. The reason being is it's because before, obviously, it was an indefinite option for obviously offline play. Now, I am fully against digital distribution altogether. Like, I'm 37. I'm in the millennial age. A lot of people who are like up in arms about this are kind of like in their mid 30s, 40s, because they understand. Back in the day, when you went out, you bought a game. It was fully on the disc. You put that disc in, you played it. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, OG Xbox, GameCube, back in the day, you know. I'm throwing some nostalgia. If you see this video, you'll understand the pain that's currently going on with a lot of games now. With the corporations in general, gaming is starting to lose its soul because of corporations taking hold of the product that you paid for. Now, I can quick explain that right now using the car situation. Let me explain. So, imagine if you went out, you bought a car, right? You bought it off somebody off Facebook, or you bought it off a friend. You bought that car, you paid full price, you paid like maybe $1,000 fucking dollars. Go figure. And like that friend said, okay, cool, tags are paid, everything's paid for. Like, you can't use the keys. Where are you going? Like, what? I paid for the car. Nope. Where are you going? Okay, I'm going to work. Okay, well, you can only use the car for work. When you're done with it, you have to give me back the keys. In a sense, you don't actually own that car. You're just borrowing the car anyway, even though you paid a lot of money for it. So, in a sense, when it comes to digital DRM, when it comes to games being tied to accounts, being tied to servers, being tied to storefronts such as Steam, not every game. I will separate a video when it comes to digital DRM, what games are DRM free, what's not. That's a separate video. So, in a sense, when you buy and pay for this these games that have digital locks to them, you're essentially supporting that, like, hey, these companies should just start making this a regular thing of when you buy something, they still have access to. Okay, Alex from the future. I got some bad news. Forgot to include this in my video because I'm an airhead sometimes. But if you have a copy PT on your system and you are not online by any chance, I would recommend not going online or updating or anything like that, because you could be locked out like this user. So please keep in mind, Alex from the future, just giving you a warning. Yeah, look out for this. All right, back to you, Alex. Past. That, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. Look at Ubisoft and the Crew and the Stop Killing Games situation. Obviously, a lot of players went on a rampage with the Crew, myself included. I dearly love that game, obviously. Long story short, that game is amazing. I played that, like, on launch day. I'm going to tell you a quick story so that we can go back on track after. I bought that game physically. I didn't have internet back in the day. And I bought also Need for Speed 2015 physically. I didn't know anything back in the day. I was on console back in the day. You know, I was on the outdated pre-AMD era console back in the day. Okay, so the PS4. Okay, I finally got a fucking PS4, and I bought a physical copy of Need for Speed 2015 and the Crew. Stuck the disc in. The first thing I stuck in was the Crew. Okay, and it installed. And I launched it out of excitement. I get to finally play this fucking game. And lo and behold, the whole you need to connect to the internet in order to play this product. I was pissed, okay? And so I was just like, okay, cool. You know, I'll just put in Need for Speed 2015. Same fucking thing. Connect to the internet in order to play this product. So, oh my God. That was my story of the time. Now we're going to get back on track. Just in general, if I'm back on track, I just want to tell you my story. Again, I'm working on 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep. Oh my God, if I haven't mentioned that already. Just in general, these companies, just in general, will implement any. Oh, that's where I'm at. So Ubisoft decided, like, obviously, a lot of people went and rampant on Ubisoft, and so a lot of players started like voting with their wallets and just like basically lawsuits everywhere. Like, obviously, Ubisoft went and turned around and announced offline modes for both the Crew 2 and Motorfest instantly. Even after right after the Stop Killing Games situation, they were like, oh shit, okay, so we got to do something now before it gets worse. And so what ended up happening, obviously, they announced offline modes for the Crew 2 and Motorfest. Long story short, Stop Killing Games is looking really good right now. That's a whole nother topic for another video. But in general, we're doing good with that. So it goes to show that voting with our wallets and our voices, most notably our wallets, I will talk more about that in a bit, does make things work, does change some things, does change perspective. So, obviously, with the Stop Killing Games situation, and basically it's going to be passed as far as I'm concerned. Ubisoft obviously updated the Crew 2's offline mode even more because they don't want to be caught in the crossfire of that situation. They don't want to go through any more lawsuits than what they're going through. So obviously, as people, obviously we vote with our wallets, and that, I mean, our voices are heard, obviously. So when it comes to this, when it comes to this DRM bullshit, this practice with the Nouveau, I'm going to talk more about that in a bit. When it comes to this, vote with your fucking wallet, because that's just, in my opinion, it's kind of unneeded. Obviously, I can understand the PC situation, but with the console situation before this, it kind of hurts the paying customer now, because now PlayStation is destroying any goodwill that the customer has when it comes to the digital situation. Obviously, we can only blame ourselves for falling under this situation. I've already explained it using a car buying you guys get it. So long story short, we continue supporting this practice. They're going to continue taking more control. I guarantee you, PlayStation 6 drops, like, you're going to need an internet connection in order to fucking even use that system. It started with the Xbox One. It's still the same thing with the Series consoles. Has not changed. Obviously, with the new Xbox, quote unquote, we'll see what happens with that one when that one drops, but I guarantee you it's going to be the same thing. Obviously, you might be able to, like, swap with a different OS so you don't have to run into the, like, check-in or sign into your fucking account in order to use it method, but we're not talking about PC. PC is a different fucking thing. We kind of are. I will mention more about that. But still, long story short, the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch 2, and maybe even the Nintendo Switch, are the last few systems that are going to be, like, fully offline and playable. Here's a video of me showcasing that I factory reset my PS5. I posted on Twitter right after the fiasco. I ended up pissing off a PlayStation fanboy. I don't know. Y'all are soft as fuck. But I'm going to continue. Obviously, as proof of concept, this is the last generation of this. This is not the first. Trust me, this is the very last generation when it comes to these systems. As proof of concept, I own my PS5. When I had an Xbox Series, I did not own that system. It required authentication to the servers to download updates and etc. Updates are great, maybe, when it comes to consoles. Who knows? I'm not a fan of it. I'm just being fucking sarcastic. Just in general, when it comes to this, like, the Switch 2, you can fully boot it up offline. You own that system. Anything that you can boot offline, you actually own, in my opinion. So I have a lot of physical games, right? Obviously, every one of these physical games I can play completely offline. And so what I'm basically trying to say is vote with your wallet when it comes to these corporations. I guarantee you, if you stop supporting this digital fucking crap and start supporting the physical games, because I forgot to mention this in my last video, but I stated I was going to mention in this video anyway, voting with your wallet, start buying physical games. Like, for real, I have this Dead Island physical edition I'm showcasing right now, and this is what I mean. This is what we used to have. This is exactly what we used to have back in the day. If I haven't mentioned this already, back in my good old days, a lot of millennials are all up in arms with this whole DRM situation. A lot of you guys who are up in my age, I'm 37. If I meant, again, I'm working on 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep here. So if I've already mentioned this and forgot that I mentioned it, and I'm mentioning it again, I do apologize. But a lot of you guys are up in my age, I'm 37, and understand of ownership, understand that, like, what we should do, or, like, what we used to have back in the day. We used to have, like, greatness back in the day. You know, what made gaming great was the appreciation of the physical game, the having the booklet to read, being able to just be excited instead of having a manual online, because they stopped fucking putting manuals in games. They completely stopped with that. Over time, it's just going to continue getting worse. Physical media is phasing out as we speak because we continue supporting this digital distribution. I can't fucking say it. You guys get it. We continue supporting this practice with these DRM online fucking storefronts. I will have to mention GOG. If you're going to go digital, go GOG. This is only on PC. If you don't want to support this stupid garbage fucking practice, switch over to PC. Start buying off GOG. Start backing up your games. I back up all my GOG games to a hard drive, and I'm good. I'm solid. I love doing this. The ability to back up your fucking games, put it on another computer, and launch the fucking executable is amazing. You know, obviously somebody's going to argue, well, like, for one, like, it still takes up space on your console when you install the physical disc, and for two, like, you need to connect to the internet, or you already have it, whatever you want to say. For one, when you install a disc, it copies the files over, as showcasing, like, what you're seeing. I'm copying a file from the disk and it plays, obviously. For two, You don't need to be connected to the internet. If you have a physical disc, all that data is on the disc. You own that disc. All you have to do is install the game and launch the game. Okay? And for 3, obviously, yes, we need an internet connection for GOG in order to download the game. But if you practice backing up your games over time, if you were to lose your account for whatever reason, you can't sign in, you at least took the method of backing up the games. Now, I will be more than happy to make a separate video regarding this because we have to get to the next topic. I'm done with my first topic, and so we're going to move on to the next topic. Now, obviously, within a day or two ago, there was a whole situation with, obviously, basically, long story short, a couple years ago, or like more than that, this developer called Maurice announced that he cracked the game, or more notably bypassed the game, Black Myth Wukong, and chose not to release it for reasons I understand why, but I don't know why you had to mention it. But I guess, to prove a point that Denuvo is bypassable. Speed up to today, obviously every game in the book has been cracked by either Voices 38 or the hypervisor method. Now, obviously, as of recently, Black Myth Wukong has been cracked by Voices 38. So, I'm going to read this article, and then I'm going to put my input link down in the description. You want to go ahead and read further. Although it's been nearly 2 years, pirates have finally managed to crack Black Myth Wukong. Voices 38 obviously cracked Black Myth Wukong. Although it's been nearly 2 years, a day since Black Myth Wukong debut console and PC title from the Chinese developer Game Service. And by the way, I do happen to have a physical copy, so if you guys want to go ahead and buy the game, I support the physical copy. Buy the physical copy if you have a PS5. Continuing, was released. The game never left minds of video game pirates. That's because due to Denuvo's anti-tamper protection, it quickly became one of the most highly requested titles by pirates, hoping it would one day lose the badge and could be cracked by nefarious means. Unfortunately for them, the day has yet to come. So, I'm going to read more, actually, because I was going to say something instead. Voices 38, leading member of the piracy community and one whose advanced methods have managed to break Denuvo. Apparently, I think Voices 38 is Empress 2.0 in my opinion. Continuing. Break Denuvo Lock Games has announced that they've managed to crack Black Myth Wukong, which I heard was very difficult to crack, but continuing, fulfilling one of the biggest wishes of the piracy community. So, obviously, I'm not going to read any more. Obviously, Black Myth Wukong has been fully cracked by Voices 38. So, with Denuvo and the situation, I don't support Denuvo. In fact, I despise Denuvo's DRM. I've had so many issues personally trying to play the games I bought off Steam with my hard-earned money for these fucking games, and so, I have ran into a Denuvo license error countless times. This is not everybody, trust me. I know somebody's going to state, oh, I didn't run into that, so what's the deal? I'm talking about me, motherfucker. Me. Okay, I personally ran into it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Nobody likes Denuvo, okay? Nobody likes to deal with that fucking trash in their fucking software. I bought the game. I didn't buy the fucking software. But continuing, this practice, again, trailing back to voting with our wallets, okay? Stop buying these fucking games off Steam. You don't have to. Listen to me. Obviously, it's your money. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your money. But I would suggest, if you want this developers to stop putting Denuvo in the games or making change to this, voting with our wallets is making change. The only way that these companies are going to kneel and back down is voting with our wallets. The reason why these companies are the way they are is because, for one, the PlayStation with no competition with Xbox, because Xbox kind of just gave up, or Xbox has its own issue, although they're starting to come back. It's because of competition. It's because they want to win their players over. If they see their players are not supporting the platform, they'll do anything means necessary to fucking win their player base over. So, which means if we were to stop supporting this fucking garbage practice by supporting this DRM, because you're technically paying for Denuvo, okay? It's not just the publisher. I've already covered this. The publisher has a monthly subscription on having Denuvo inside their games, which is why 9 times out of 10, sometimes they remove Denuvo. And they kind of just... The Denuvo is really just a shield to protect sales at launch, realistically. Because they know that eventually Denuvo is going to get cracked. Denuvo gets stronger every year or 2 years. Just long story short, more players, more paying customers get to suffer more as time goes on. Now, you could argue, well, the pirates are actually causing this. Yes, they are at the same time causing this. But you know what? Voting with your wallets and not trying to just voting with your wallets in general is only going to make a change. Okay, these companies are going to continue getting worse, and then people are I'm not. I listen. Okay, I bought games digitally. Like I said, I already know. I bought games off Steam that had Denuvo in it. I bought Grid Legends. I bought Need for Speed Hot Pursuit fucking remastered. I didn't know that had Denuvo for whatever fuck god reason. EA decided to pull the stick up from their ass and decided to fucking stick it up ours just to have Denuvo in that. But continuing, just in general, when you buy a game, you're supporting Denuvo, and when you support Denuvo, it literally just it's a shit show, just in general. So obviously, maybe going forward, I'm gonna maybe do my part, not support this stupid shit. You can do the same thing. It's optional, like I said. Do whatever the fuck you want with your money. Long story short, obviously, this practice is bullshit, in my opinion. So when it comes to this, vote with your wallet. You'll see change. Long story short, you purchase the games off GOG. You go to Zoom Platform, those two websites, and believe it or not, 90% of Epic Games is DRM free. I know. Wow, really? Is that really the case? Yes, PC Gaming Wiki page, link down description. Here's the page right here. 90% of Epic Games is DRM free, believe it or not. So many people bash on Epic Games. I do not. I think Epic Games is awesome, especially for this. So I'm going to include Epic Games in this. Yes, exactly. Anyway, continuing. The point being is, I'm always just going to collect physical games. I'm always going to push for physical media. I'm always going to push for game preservation. And it's not because I'm fucking almost 40. Don't even get me started on that shit. Age really is just a level. It's a level. I'm leveling up. I'm just leveling up, So literally, as I get older, I'm going to push more for this. I'm going to push more on this preservation. You guys can do your part into voting with your wallets, voting with your voice. Obviously, we saw change with Ubisoft, with The Crew. This was never expected to happen with The Crew 2 and Motorfest at all. They were never going to announce offline modes until we started raising our voices and voting with our wallets, and lawsuits actually didn't really help the cause either. They actually, it helped the cause is what I meant. It helped push the game preservation boundary on Ubisoft. So in general, when we vote with our wallets and we let our voices be heard, change happens. And what we can do with this is we can vote with our wallets, push our voices out there, and keep pushing for this game preservation method. I'm not the only one who feels about this. Shout out to Some Morning Gamers. He did a video as of recently, I think. Yeah, he did a video as of recently. Check him out. Link down in the description. Obviously, I'm not the only one who feels the way they do about game preservation. Physical media is dying as we speak. It's a beautiful thing to have, though, and we don't want that going away. Now, is this going to be successful? Is this video going to push across everybody? Probably not. Our PlayStation 6 is going to drop, and then everybody's just going to continue doing the same shit, and then these companies are going to continue bending us over and going in, no lube included, nothing, no pickles on the burger, nothing, and then continuing fucking us over. So, you want to support this practice? I know that this video is a little bit longer than I needed to be. I just wanted to get the word out there. Then keep buying these digital games with DRM tied to it. Keep supporting this because all these companies see is money. They don't see you. They don't see you as the user. The only company I would have to argue that sees the user instead, and they kind of see competition as well. The reason why GOG is doing this is also because they're trying to win over their fan base. Give it a couple of years, everybody's just going to go towards GOG and stop supporting the cause, and then GOG is going to clamp down and fuck us over as well. It's time and time again, so be careful with that. Otherwise, support the cause. Support what is really more valuable, is supporting digital DRM that's being taken from you and not actually owning the product and then losing access to that. Millions of games almost every year are fucking getting lost due to the DRM licenses being tied to it. So we lost Anthem. We're about to lose Need for Speed 2015. So think about this. Stop killing games. Yes, it is helping. It is technically helping, but it's not going to save Need for Speed 2015. It did not save Anthem at all. Though I did do a video a while back regarding somebody actually got it working. I don't know what's going on with that, so don't ask me yet. I don't know. Otherwise, you guys know. You guys know what to do. It's not just going to be me pushing for this. It's not going to just be me I'm not it's not going to work if I'm standing in front of PlayStation or these other big corporations with my fist up. It's going to be one guy yelling "How dare you! Fuck DRM, I'm not going to buy it." Okay, I have millions of other people buying from us. You see what I mean? You see exactly what I'm talking about? One person is not going to stop this. It's going to take a whole generation to vote, okay? Again, look what happened with Ubisoft. Look what happened. So look what happened. What's going on with Stop Killing Games? Ross actually pushed for this. He banned everybody together who is like-minded, who understands the shit, who is probably my age by fucking now. And so a lot of you who are new, who are just a lot younger, you can do this too. Otherwise, that's it for me for today. And as always, if you're new to my channel, maybe subscribe if you want to see more of this. If you're like-minded like me, maybe subscribe, give this video a like, share this video. You want to support these corporations and get anal fucked, you can. But, I personally, yes, I've fallen victim. I bought games digitally. Like I said, I know. I do it too. So it's not just I'm not the all be all when it comes to this, but we can make a change with this. Otherwise, that's it for me today. As always, if you're new to my channel, maybe subscribe, give it a like, follow me on Twitter. If you do end up jumping in the Discord server, you're going to have to go through an application process. It's very simple, by the way. There's a reason why I did that. Somebody hopped in and fucking did weird shit in there. And yeah, long story short, just in general, you want to jump in the Discord server, make sure your profile is fully verified after 5 years, because one of my mods might decline it, just to keep in mind. So if you've been on Discord for about 5+ years, you're pretty much good to go. Otherwise, I will catch you guys on the next one. And this is Alex is a Dead Man signing out now. Used to be Personal Computer Tests. Thanks to YouTube for being soft and shutting down my channel. Lawsuit might be happening. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, peace.